SRG were playing with a sub then, but it's for the narrative that YFPX could be the queen killers, if you will.
I'm still very nervous though in the second map, even though it's Shopify Rebellion's map pick. First off, you're still bringing the breach back right now for SRG, which I don't think it's necessarily a bad pick, but I feel like I would agree to the sentiment of the deaths. Seeing Alexis on a deadlock or a Sage would be kind of fire. But at least now, if you're thinking about, okay, well, the game plan is for you to try to bring that momentum, bring the aggression, and take control of the wheel here, especially now you start off on the attack side, as Athena mentioned. But this is also where YFPX dominated against Warada, was on how good Sharad has been on the defense, as well as Zoriental. So many multi-kills, one ace on a defense as well. And hopefully SRG could avoid all of that as they take this plant towards this B site.
Yes, please, Sharad, tell us how to say your name, or I'm going to resort to Cha-Cha very, very soon. But
yeah, or
SRG.
C. Harrod. I think that's
C.
the same.
Yeah. Holy, now there's some mid control. YFPX got that, but it costed them a lot. Oh, slipping past all the defenses and the shots. Sarah has Donuts back though with the trade, and numbers are in SRG's favor, and it's just up to Corrupt. Flash and knife in hand, and barely any HP to play with, and with this crossfire, SRG pretty much have secured themselves a pistol. Let's see if I cast or cursed it though. Little jiggle from Mel. Ooh, and a dink too. Corrupt has some time to play with, and you're gonna see the reveal from the Sonic, and SRG will get away with the pistol after all.
And that's a great way to kick things off too. When you're looking at where the trips are being placed on a defense though for YFP, is that they were expecting a hold push and a fight back towards Boba on the post plan, especially when you're running a Neon on the side of SRG and you're just trying to trap Donut. But you go for the standard side for SRG, you play the post plan on the outside and it works out, let them flood against you, and you're able to win those duels in the end. And also the other thing that was scaring me about seeing SRG on this map reminds me a little bit of Challengers, where Sarah had like 3 aces and like two 4Ks or something like that on the attack, and they still lost against Legacy, if I'm not mistaken, back in like stage 2. So hopefully they have fixed a little bit of what they're trying to do here on their attack side. And you're able to see this third map against YFPX here, the champs of GC NA and the champs of GCC. Getting a run for their money here against YFPX, who are now looking to play for this front B take.
And Sharad is just trying to do what they can when they were just stuck at this B main position, and best case would have been winning the 1, but doing damage is good too. But man, these B hits from SRG have been practically flawless. The only chance is Oriental with the Bucky doing damage, and just turns and flicks onto Noya. Looking very limited, costing now SRG 2 of their guns going into the bonus.
And very good so far. I mean, yeah, it has been a little bit expensive for the damage we've done here for YFPX, but the fact that you're looking at SRG going into the bonus round, potentially now, I would say working the map fairly slowly to try to maximize orbs and plants would put yourself in a good position here in your rifle round, because a lot of them are halfway, so you could take your pick in the litter and figure out which one you want to start working with here on in terms of your ults for the gun round. As I say slow, it looks like we're going to try to fight towards this B main quite early once again, but Corrupt's there, getting ready to knife it out.
Sharad is now getting some assist here from Corrupt, and the trip to help mark it out, and no vision on mid, which is something SRG have prioritized in the past. But knocking at the door though is SRG, got the walls up from the Neon, and Sharad just checks Donut at the door and almost got greedy to just keep getting kills from the reinforcements of SRG. Sharad will fall. The rest of YFPX will take over. SRG look to wrap around. Oh, the paranoia from Scary Shark just goes right in between. And I guess Sarah's going for a hero play. And why is the big cross? Is SRG now dropped the spike in the middle of the map?
Thankfully, the weapon could get picked up. That was a little bit of a guardian damage or phantom damage, 140 onto Scary Shark. That forces her back. I know I could still someone make a play. There's 40 seconds left. You've identified the Omen on top middle. You just hurt the haunt here from that B site. Looks like Noya's going to walk right into it, hoping to isolate some fights here.
30 seconds left.
Surprised Noya would have just wanted to go to the other site, but will at least clear what Sarah's dead body left behind. And we'll lose the 1 against Glowstick, so YPX being able to maintain a lot of these rifles is going to bode well. And they had such a fiery start on their defense on the previous map. Like the desk said, no one expected a 10-2 half, but this is a whole different map, and this is SRG's pick, and see how we go forward with Glowstick one away from the Nightfall.
Yeah, and when we talk about YFP, how good Zoriental and Sherrod has been on the defense, comes down a lot to this Corrupt on the knife as well for the KO. They throw a lot of this double initiator right into the entrance of this A, just to try to stall, hold back, and even try to go for the knife to even stop the second wave of util trying to move into the site. But as you see here, the Haunt gets value, already pinged some players, so you could save the knife a little bit later on into the round for YFPX to find that info. Now you'll notice lane is clear, so you're inching now that you're inkling, sorry, that the hit's going to be happening towards this market.
And Glowstick did just pick up the orb for the Nightfall. They're a little bit behind. Should still be able to hit the stack of SRG. This is really good stall from Sherrod that was left behind. SRG are still trying to clear through B, all thanks to what Noya was able to do, but will still be victims to this Nightfall. So the advantage in YPX's court, and it's Corrupt that leads the charge. And SRG are just all corralled and don't know where the threats could be coming from. It's just great execution at the end of the day of YPX knowing what their win condition was around the Glowstick Nightfall and how they're able to just trap SRG in the spot to hit them with.
It's Lotus all over again, where the util is just good from A to Z, from left to right, from the first page to the last. It's the Haunt that pushes players away, the knife that sees nobody towards tiles, so you could think that the hit's coming towards the B side. Everybody instantly rotated towards that side. And as you mentioned here, Lemon Kiwi, if it wasn't for Sherrod's stall with that cage, with the trip inside the market, it was maybe a chance for SRG to move through. But they have to find ways here for SRG on this hits to realize here where the cipher is being set up, where the trips could be, and how they can hopefully enter the sites a little bit more quickly. Because if Sarah doesn't break trips, it makes it a lot more difficult here for Donut to gain that space on these site execs for Shopify.
YPX have just been allowing this mid control, but SRG may just try to cross in top side. They think that Scary Shark has been pushed away from the side. The paranoia pierces through SRG, and Scary Shark can form. Smells blood in the water. Will continue to be stoic. And just the re-swing completely catches SRG off guard and breaks apart their plan to win this round.
And you see the differences too on how these players are currently facing off against each other. Athena was mentioning SRG playing a little bit more reactive than proactive, and for YFP side, they are just playing with a lot of confidence. Even if this is an anti-eco, the fact that Scary Shark re-swings outside of that smoke just to refight on middle when she's already identified 4 players in the very beginning here when she threw that paranoia. That shows that YFPX are not afraid of the pedigree that SRG carries when they come in with this aura inside the server. So she disrespects it. Allows YFP here to get the first map in this series on Lotus. They're now forcing SRG to scratch their brains, scratch their heads a little bit to figure out how they can manipulate the attack side a little bit better for their side.
And for YFPX to be able to integrate these 2 new players just since Swiss, and these players, Sherrod and Glowstick, who don't have as much experience. You have Glowstick coming from Berserker's Dawn. They compete in the qualifier, but this is Glowstick's first time in a main event. And Sherrod has been putting up numbers despite kind of flying under everyone's radar. This is their first time being even in Game Changers, and they've been in a ton of community tournaments, but it's incredible that YPX have not only been able to scout such incredible talent, but bring them up to speed. And now they're up a map, and they're ahead in map 2 against one of GC's best.
GC's best are looking the good old tried and true fault line for control here into elbow. Drone's a little bit too late too, as Recon was already used at the beginning of the round. They try to find that early info into elbow, and now you don't have too much left to retake towards that site.
My ult is ready.
I'll have to come down here to probably just the Mel ult for info inside the site.
Buried.
They already lost their entry.
I like that Sherrod is being also is mitigating how greedy they want to be for these kills. It's now getting the 1. Doesn't have the luxury of teleporting out like the chamber previously. Now is able to be more measured on their approach. Not going to be a victim. Now getting more first bloods in YPX's favor. Forcing now a backup plan for SRG.
Which is Noya try to activate. find your timing, win your one, get the ult, and you pivot with 30 seconds left in the round. So you have to move around a lot here and almost make yourself known for SRG. Fortunately, she loses that fight.
Oh,
and now question marks continues for SRG.
Oh, I'm gonna knock out a different house and be rewarded as SRG now the last option, top mid risky with only 2 players left, but YFPX were more stacked on the left side. Someone that can catch them is Scary Shark.
10 seconds
The plant will
left.
still go through with 9 seconds left.
Look at this. She still has a flash to work with for them to flood retake. That's how good YFP has been in managing their util on defense throughout this whole series so far.
Oh, this paranoia from Scary Shark is gonna get the Alexis destabilized and unable to trade with Mel, and it's so fluid to watch YFPX be able to keep up with SRG and even be able to beat them on rotations at times. I mean, the desk pointed that out. Just how even these teams are.
Even, I mean, even I don't even know if I can even say that in this series
Yeah,
yet.
not anymore, I guess.
Right? YFP's been looking very good and in control this whole series. And already, every time you're looking at the state of the game, the first timeouts are always coming out for the side of SRG. You had some room to breathe by having a very nice pistol round conversion to an anti-eco that was fairly clean, but everything after that, it comes down to SRG just running into brick walls for every type of lanes that they're trying to take. There's always one piece of util there trying to stall them back. So if it's working up middle, there's a flash there. If it's a late round pivot, there's still a camera up on the A side. You're trying to hit the B site. Well, Sharad is somehow there as well to stall you out. So they're doing a great job here for YFPX, reading the tendencies of SRG round after round, even when they're changing positionings on their defensive side every single time. You would expect your double initiator with a neon that you're just going to try to plow it down and be very aggressive on a defense to try to hold off lanes, but they've just been very good on stall util and fast rotates after that to just really win these rounds.
And same timing on the timeout for Shopify, I should say, which was after round 6, just like Lotus, except then SRG didn't win a single round after that. So it's going to be centered a lot around Alexis, Sarah, how they can explode onto the site. They know there's these forward members from YFPX that like to get these picks, like Sharad over at B. You know that's where a lot of the Sentinel has been centralized. Let's see what SRG do around tiles using Noya's camera. Not getting the battle that at all towards mid. I don't know if they want one, but now they're going to be contested for this control. Sliding in is Oriental. Kind of caught in the middle of nowhere, though.
I still like that, though. Look at the trap play that they're trying to do. Double flash with a haunt. And then you make noise and you don't even commit, so you can go for the surprise kills right there. So yeah, you're going to get your one and done, but you're also stalling the attack side to try to go for that second phase hit right after. Especially now that you've lost Alexis. That could add a lot of util for you to entry towards that site.
That could have been even deadlier for Zoriental. Kind of a lot of panic setting in. And SRG, they try to find some comfort in catching Glowstick. Still have a neural theft from Sheridan. We'll have a corpse in mid if they do want to invest that. But SRG just want to get ahead of the rotations. Paranoia even early out from Mel. Threat comes through the top of the site. There's that neural theft invested by YFPX as the slow flank begins to form from Scary Shark. The trip will detect it, but with how close SRG are, Scary Shark could still be in a good position. 1 versus 2 though. And at least you're good for the 1. SRG should be good on the post plant. Teleporting away from the spike though. Sherrod just trying to get halfway. Denies Mel a chance to strike, but Sherrod doesn't have time. Just farming up orbs. And not able to keep the weapon either.
And thankfully for SRG, yeah, even though you've lost that 1v2, or 2v1, sorry, and you won it on time, it was still a lower buy that you had on your end, so your economy is still very good going into this round number 8. So it worked out quite good. I was going to mention again, praising what YFP is doing to stop the breaks into the trap play they were trying to do towards middle. Seems like Zoriental had the sixth sense saying, okay, well, maybe we haven't flashed anybody really towards tiles because the double flash is really to use for information on middle and to fight at that spot. So Zoriental doesn't go into tiles, holds that pillar, but they insert that Dodo Nut was on the A side to open things up here for SRG, allowed for them to capitalize around in the end. as they reacted quite quickly after the trap play attempt from YFP on middle.
Now SRG have to work through a one-way and just going to use speed and violence just to break that setup. Now at YFPX, you have Corrupt, who has flashes too, but just leaving Scary Shark inserted. No paranoia, but hoping to just keep things held for YFPX in terms of space.
She made a step.
Off your feet!
Oh, but the Rolling Thunder is still towards the site, and Scary Shark goes undetected. Elbow still held by YFPX as they hope to flash in off of Corrupt.
Spike down A.
Donut with the old no just gets shut down, and Scary Shark just picks them apart, being able to play off the other initiator. Now the spike is down, and this feels impossible for Noya. At least she has the information of the two over in that alleyway, but not where the last one is.
Cage trigger.
Gotta pick your battles.
30 seconds left.
Noya still trying to isolate where she can. Now hearing the orb could just still be those two members from Elbow, and could not find where Sheridan was, and just strikes at the perfect time. YFPX keeping their lead.
You gotta think what the story would have been like for SRG if they actually had more players to commit into the Elbow. Again, I feel like Scary Shark made a sidestep right into that cubby, but maybe through the comms of saying when we're gonna try to exec. Coming out from the camp of Shopify Rebellion, they didn't hear that coming out here from Scary Shark. She's able to get 3 kills out of that. Full control of Elbow, which doesn't allow SRG to go for a full split, putting your initiator alone to try to take up the A side as everybody's trying to commit from the left side of this short A. It's unfortunate there for SRG's plans, but a great hold by the side of Scary Shark of YFPX. Another eco for SRG now.
SRG are just, they're gonna scale A, right? That's kind of how Donut started. Very quiet, got loud in the end, but it's who wins that matters. And YFPX want that ticket to the grand final, and it's man Corrupt getting active. Glow stick with the assist, and SRG hope to just keep the one rifle they had or recovered. And that was a quick round for YFPX.
Yeah, high-low disrespecting smokes again. So it almost seems like YFPX are playing almost like a Cloud9 in VCTs when they're playing an anti-eco, just chase for those kills. Try to build up the ult orbs and try to continue to build that confidence for the side of YFPX. I mean, if you're looking at it, the frag distribution is fairly even across the board. Scary Shark finding her moments here towards the anchor of the A side. Sherrod every time being contested. Great delays, even good under retakes for the team. The only one being quiet is Oriental because this comp doesn't really allow for you to have the best of trap plays. So let's hold that thought. Here's just a full executive SRG right into this A site.
This is really gonna break apart YFPX, but not if Sherrod still stays stoic over an Elbow, can play off the camera and just wants to assist Corrupt holding that link side. And then what is this flank from Tile? Scary Shark gets away with murder. As SRG were still just trying to find their footing off of being challenged off of their Hunter's Fury that did not net too much of a positive for SRG.
Yeah, Noya had to be somewhere to try to cut these rotates when you're going for this side execute for Sarah with the Hunter's Fury. Technically, somebody has to watch your back, 1, and 2, you have to expect YFP to continue to push aggressively like they've been on Lotus before. Oh wait, this is a silent drop.
Oh,
no!
That's a trap! Sherrod.
Dude!
Oh, the timing on that too.
Noya jumped over that. She called that there was a trip there. So she says, let me jump over the box. I'll jump down and I have a timing for that. And Mel still walks into it. That unfortunately is one of those things that when you're looking at this game, it's just like, okay, well, there is something happening here in the camp of SRG where they're lacking that coordination. And now you're definitely seeing it happen in the server.
You can't let this break you if you're SRG. Already used 1 timeout and want to make the other one last. Camera though from Sherrod is gonna see SRG only for a second. And on this lower by SRG, oh, they get all flashed up and buried 6 feet under, man. Sherrod has just been forming this lobby.
I know exactly where you are.
SRG will make the most out of this and have brought YFPX down to limited numbers and rifle upgrades for SRG at that. This is salvageable after a beautiful 3K from the defense. Now the blinds, that was huge. The Nightfall invested too. YFPX want to be certain in this round, and only one remains after all said and done.
Oh, it was so good to
Last
start.
round in the half.
Almost saved it for the side of SRG, almost salvaging another eco round. A Thrifty on their side. Again, they've noticed here that every time they're on an eco and they're spotted by YFP just wants to disrespect and go to fight against you. Thankfully, you had some players playing anti-flash. You had perfect trades on your pistols for SRG. A 2v2 with the hat allows for you to tempo a lot more quickly into the site for a plant. But just unfortunately, the coordination from both Glowstick and Scary Shark, from Nightfall to Paranoia, just did not allow Noya and Alexis to save that round.
Donut wants to make a big play and will do so solo, but now that Mel teleports back there, it's a deadly duo that hooks up with pressure on the backside, while Alexis forges through the front, through market, all sides from SRG as they puncture through the defenses. YFPX put up a good fight. It's Glowstick that could find timing as SRG still have to recover the spike from a backstab. And now this is confidence blooming for SRG, just getting that last round of the half, but still a ways away from catching up to YFPX.
At least a little bit better than what we've seen here on the first map. A 10-2 half in favor of YFP. Now SRG salvaging a couple of these rounds. Yes, they were spaced out. Look at how many rounds it took for them to finally get a round through. Both times YFPX were able to string 4 rounds in a row. And it came down to, again, I think a lot of the storyline comes down to, if you're looking at it on paper, though, it looks like it was domination for YFPX, but some of these rounds are still quite close when it comes down to these fights that YFPX are able to win, outside of the anti-ecos that they're just dominant on here for YFPX. Now SRG has a chance to play the defense, and it seems as though we want to try to go for some early information. Recon towards that spot, maybe a high-low, a triple actually stack on the high-low to look down towards the mid-line.
It's interesting, YFPX have Zoriental kind of lurking solo, while Donut, at least their style throughout has been more of a Death Army, and Zoriental, they're in these spots where they catch SRG looking away, and I feel like Zoriental could get so much more, but SRG good to react, but not this time. At least the trades, not too much of a slaughterhouse for YFPX when they surprise SRG. It's a great flash. Everyone is pretty much blinded. It's about who can recover and stabilize, and it's Corrupt that gets the last laugh.
No heroics this time from Alexis. No triple kill for the round to save the pistol win. She was low on HP, and she has a player just right-click classic jumping against her. Just unfortunate there, and it almost worked out in the end for SRG. They had the perfect setup in the very beginning, though, in the macro. A trip to find information towards that front B side. The hole that they have in the middle that stays quiet allows for them to fast rotate and to work as a team around the double initiator and a neon. But again, it comes down to the duels. One here by YFPX, and now just potentially running away with the series. A gamble stack now for SRG to walk down towards middle. Spotted by Zoriental.
Now just the full swing from SRG, and wow, so many ult orbs for Zoriental in that moment. Share it to YFPX, dangerous territory now, double digits. It could be giving SRG their first GC loss since last year when they had a sub of all things, and to go to the grand final, which, I mean, the desk broke down what that means for points, and but at the very least SRG are guaranteed LCQ and also a lower bracket if it comes to that. But is this going to be a fake comeback or not, or no comeback?
You bring up a way better point there too, saying that the last time that they lost was with a sub, but this time it's with the full roster potentially here that they're going to lose this series, and that's going to hurt and sting even more. And finally, we're trying to prevent that from stinging more. Donut finally gets a duel. Neon Diff against Zoriental, attempting to take elbow control.
YFPX only won that pistol by like only one person. So close, but that could be what dictates the conclusion of this series, this final. But with YFPX just getting a little too antsy, just blindly sliding into elbow, losing a second member. SRG hoping to conserve all the weapons they can. Noya can find good timing on the planes. They're gonna wait for them to exit, but the patience does not pay off in that moment. SRG are always good for trades, and Sarah picks up the last one. It's only 5 for SRG. An uphill battle awaits them.
And this is where I want to see this happen. Sarah starting to activate on this map because, again, remember that time I was mentioning where they lost against Legacy? I think she went like 17-4 just on the attack in itself before they actually lost that series. And now if you have somebody like Sarah being able to pick things up here on the defensive side, that will also pick up the morale. That might give a chance here for SRG to fight back. This is good here to at least win their rifle round without losing so many players. Now if they could convert a second one here, that'll force the eco again on YFPX, and SRG will finally start to find some sort of grasp into a potential comeback.
Trying to fight for orb. YFPX want to get Shared's neural theft online, and Sarah's more for mid control, just trying to get her ult with just the kill, and Donut catches them by surprise. A 3K when YFPX hesitated. SRG executed.
Make that add a quad onto it too. Very nicely done here for SRG, and very similar storylines to Donut in the second half, just like Athena mentioned before. A little bit slower in the first half, now having to play here the second one, activating a little bit more. I think comes into like what, 4 to like 6 kills within the last 3 rounds for Donut. And that will now be a second time now that the A site has been shut down, not only by util but the firepower of this defense. So now YFP will probably have to try to find a way here to counteract on this. And remember, I mean, it's very rare that we see KOs on this map right now, but the radius that you have for these KO knives are actually quite big. You're trying to hold these angles that are pinned up here into the corners of the elbow, short A side. All that util is already going to be gone because there's a lot of unbreakable knives that are being shot from the other side of the wall or thrown from the other side of the wall that would not allow for you to stall as well as you could here with the util. And maybe that could be the type of conversation right now from Corrupt with the rest of their team. Try to figure out here if they could leverage this double initiator a little bit more to give more room here for Zoriental to get that spacing, especially now that they hit the attack side.
And like we said, Donut starts out quiet, and she gets so confident. Now she's sliding out, and then YPX think that SRG just have this buddy system, that they're going to have this setup. But now there's aggression, SRG fighting fire with fire, which we saw even later on in Lotus when a lot more from SRG was being invested to fight a lobby, for example. But YFPX going to go back to what worked out for them before, which was a B push, but not with any mid focus this time.
Yeah, just trying to get the plan down. Make some noise. Once you're spotted by the camera, you're making noise now. Just pick up the orb. Now you have the overdrive for Zoriental. That'll be your opener for the site.
Oh, yeah. Watch this happen. Trip could be what SRG executes on. No, they're going to take control before that even gets triggered. They can fall back to that if needed. SRG find luck on the left side. The Prowler will reveal SRG at the back. The YPX just going to play at their half while Alexis tries to find a crack in the armor and the smoke. And look at this death ball of SRG behind Donut, the tip of the spear. Now YPX definitely have to start being careful of the SRG comeback.
And that's nice. The reposition from Noya inside that site. So orb gets picked up. You know that it's Zoriental now with the ult when you're hitting tab, that it is the Neon getting ready for the full execute. So Cage gets procced up. You reposition yourself, and when you hear the overdrive tagline being called out, counter utility comes out for SRG, and you get 0 value on the exec and not even given a chance for YP to go for a plant down. And now, in a rare occasion, we're seeing an op come out on the side of SRG. Donut has enough now to invest and look into the tiles. While they have Breach ult to work, install, and play the retake. You're starting to see the rotate out from Alexis. You're playing soft side on the A site. Mel's able to TP out in Paranoia whenever she's going to get pressured. So SRG in a pretty decent spot right now to once again play this a little bit more reactively on their defense.
It's like YPX just want to wait out this one way. Prowler through in case anyone's forward, but Alexis has the trap set with the Rolling Thunder. Just depends on which opening YFPX want to walk through. Is it going to be the op in mid, the trip through top mid, the Rolling Thunder through right side, or the camera at B main? I mean, SRG have their faces covered, but the body's been opened up, and YFPX, they nightfall in, and no chance for the Rolling Thunder to come out from Alexis. There was no backup, and there's no help coming. YFPX just dismantle all the plans yet again, and an Earl theft from Sherrod to reveal how close those reinforcements are. And it's Zoriental on duty. Now just shooting through the box. It's proactive. It's quick. And wait, Noya does not care. The numbers in front. The 3K, the clutch goddess. And the Hunter's Fury to set YFPX back. What an insane, 3v5 comeback that was.
Yeah, I apologize. I take it back. Swing into Noya 1v1. That's what happens. 1-by-1, rather, is that what happens. You're seeing YFPX continuing to add a little bit and trying to bring back that confidence that they had from the first half. Knowing to win individual duels face to face. But then Noya had something different to say. Nice little off angle every single time that she's playing in crosshair placement that Athena was mentioning at the desk before the series. Ends up having a beautiful 4K into the round. Ult to get information too, adding 2 more kills to the tally. And now they break the bank for YFPX one more time. And I was just about to mention, it's a 3v5. You got to save the op pretty much at this point because you've already lost so much map control when Mel got picked off the way that she did. Alexis couldn't rotate, couldn't fall back because she was getting run down and couldn't really get outside of the site. And I thought that was GG because the Rolling Thunder was already out of the question.
Now Dodona has the op. An elbow of all things, kind of unconventional, but Rolling Thunder is still there, but not going to be the same trap after how quick SRG got cracked up like an egg. I don't blame them for wanting to take a step further back. A Paranoia only limits YFPX, only slows them, and Zoriental is cut off. There's so many smokes and walls in place, and the Rolling Thunder pushes back the members from elbow. But within on an island was YFPX, and they all get shot down by SRG. Maybe the comeback is real after all. Glowstick with just the Sheriff and a 1v4, and with how rich SRG are, it's just not gonna matter at the end. So it's gonna go plant elsewhere.
Yeah, but you're seeing it from SRG. They really wanted to try to take that round. So you're looking at the previous round, you double ult it with Overdrive and also the Hunter's Fury. This with the Neural Theft, and this time the Rolling Thunder with the Hunter's Fury. Left. You're looking at the next round. The cycle ult is back in favor of YFPX, where SRG will still be behind only by 1 round, unless Glowstick goes nuclear one more time like they did before. Ooh. On that Lotus map.
Nailed the Rolling Thunder. Glowstick was so nice with some of these Sheriff one-taps they had on Lotus, so... Oh, it is an aim check, though, to go up against the Neon, and tried to be patient for it. Hey, the SRG comeback could be real, y'all. It's 5 rounds in a row, and only 1 round separates the two. And SRG, they can be at deficits, but they have not experienced a loss in GC in a long time.
Yeah, so here's the big swing round here for the confidence of SRG. So again, Rolling Thunder being utilized and depleted at the very beginning. So the respect that you're giving here to the side of YFP, just to try to get the round on your side of SRG. Now you have the KO ult for Corrupt. Full rifle round here for YFPX, and I like that we're gonna potentially try to walk down here for Donut, potentially towards Pillar, so that you hold middle one more time.
Zoriental looked to be the hero if there was some kind of a scrap through A, disrespecting the one-way. YFPX just gonna head through B. No camera for Noya. Prowler, null command will remove any util Noya could have, so need Alexis to hurry up and get in position to try and get a fault line or some kind of destabilization, but now could be backstab now that YFPX have mid control, so the only thing YFPX even have the plant. SRG are behind on trying to stop this, so they'll have to retake 1 step at a time. They'll have Alexis flashes, but she's pinned in market, and it's gonna need some rescuing. And Sherrod is gonna try and find that kill along with Zoriental, and SRG needs to get revenge on this. Paranoia comes out from Mel. YPX are just disjointing SRG limb from limb, and it's flawless at that.
Another round where Alexis unfortunately is left alone to her own demise. You see the setup you were just mentioning before. They needed Alexis's utility is starting to flood retake. But when the shot's already missed behind her from Zoriental at bottom middle, and now she's being pinned from both middle and the front B site, and everybody's waiting for the flood for her util to come out so they could flood from the back of Boba. you need to just pivot back. Somebody has to call the audibles, change your plan for a bit, re-clear back towards middle, try to take down Zoriental, so you could actually now go for a pincer maneuver on a 3-2 instead of a 4-1 if you're able to trade off and pick off Zoriental at that point. And because of that, none of that util was able to get used by Alexis, so the flood on the back is also nullified because there's no util to help. So you can already see the game plan. There's no pivot into how you want to really try to fight for this map control for the side of SRG. Unfortunately, I think this is where Effie's is going to have to iron out the playbook at least to try to potentially get something done with early type of plays. Try to close on that line, try to find value off Donut with the operator. Just push her down and try to get her to a spot so she can get a pick. Because so far on middle, she hasn't seen anybody yet.
Because YFPX are choosing for Zoriental to be a lot of the times that lurk, she can rotate so quickly around the map as that Neon. How she was able to pin Alexis into market and kind of create such a troublesome situation for SRG to rescue their initiator. So now SRG feel like they have to strike early and they have to strike fast before YFPX's plan really develops, which I thought was going to be that position where Donut was with the op and B main. I was going to rely on the camera from Noya. Now have to reposition instead.
Yeah, because the camera, I'm pretty sure, saw Donut, so she has to move back. So that space given away, but thankfully the camera's still inserted at that side, so they could play soft side towards B. And Mel is going to get tested very soon at this elbow. Remember when she jiggled last time around this corner, got instantly popped. This time, as soon as there's util, she decides not to overextend her stay. So they are playing, once again, a little bit more reactive, stalling on that side for SRG. But nobody's really moving out to cut a different line except for Donut watching down towards that middle with the op.
I must wait a moment.
And it leaves Oriental behind. Just keep noise going over at A, which leaves Mel and a lot of the initiators to the right side of the map. So YFPX could get a free sight here. All depends on what work Noya can do. And usually very fruitful with the multi-kills, but YFPX bulldozed their way through any competition, no matter what name is on the other side. It could be putting themselves on match point, but it is 3 versus 3. And Alexis still has a flash.
So does Mel.
Combine here with Sarah. Yeah. Now have to get through who's gonna teleport past the trip, and Corrupt knows something is up. Just flashes for themselves, deals with Mel. Sharon is at the front, collects both, and it's still a YFPX match point.
Oh, the underhand throws from Corrupt. That had to be the biggest fight here that was going to make it or break it here for SRG. And it feels that util was also the bane for Shopify on the defense on that round. I wonder when Donut came out, I'm pretty sure a haunt came through, nobody shot it, and she got pinged down, so YFP could start spraying off their attack side cyber cage and just get a pick off here into the B side entry. Feels unfortunately just an off day for the side of SRG, but that renders costly. Scenario scoreline to finish here for the side of YFPX in their victory. But thankfully, with these rounds being picked up for the side of Shopify on the defense, they could still manage up a very strong buy.
Very quiet mid-approach. Chared watching over the right side with a camera. Now flash out and caught with a drone in hand. Sarah's still smoked off and just hopes to just shoot through the smoke and add some assistance. Mel, though, has them pinched, has them caught, and YFPX will not be able to cross the road.
Oh, that was nice. SRG thinking and feeling that YFPX are going to try to change something in the playbook for a top mid control. And look at that paranoia with recon dart from both Mel and Sarah. Got so much value. You're spraying flares through the smoke, through the walls on top of that from Donut. Right? I think that was actually a wall placed up by Zoriental for them to try to run away from. But the owl drone got too much. Donut was actually watching down towards that elbow with the op. This time they gave the op to Mel, by the way. So they are going to try to play aggressively for A side orb control and deniability on that side too, because Zoriental's one away from the ult.
Donut using speed. Just fight for the orb early. Expecting this was going to be the hit for YFPX. Now nothing really heard from the YFPX side. And gonna respect the one way, but it's gone. It's all in the hands of Corrupt. The flash. Mel misses the shot, backs away, teleports, paranoia, and YFPX don't want to rush this down yet. They don't want to walk into an unexpected trap. Oh, but wait for this double swing from SRG, but YFPX we're ready for it. Now the Nightfall covers the rest of the site, and Sarah has to take over, but she's smoked off. YFPX just punish more and more, and the judge heads in deep. Noya will punish, and there's still a chance for SRG. Wow, Sarah, what she can do alone is incredible. Noya by her side now, neural theft, and at a deficit, SRG. They come back better than ever.
Noya and Sarah on the 2vx, holding it down on a retake for SRG and keeping them in the game. It was already over from the very beginning again. SRG trying to rotate across, trying to surprise some players. 3 players are watching that walk down towards that short A side, and they get instantly dropped on that defense. And then look at this retake towards the end. Individual plays from Sarah, dropping down solo, winning that first fight on Sherrod, and look at that flick towards that top. Another one of those hero moments where the ult is procced up from a kill from Noya. And now they have a chance to push this into OT. Zoriental even popped up their overdrive when they already got the entry into the site onto Mel, so they don't have that overdrive to work with anymore in this last round of regulation. So their buy is not going to be the best. Their ult cycle is gone, but thankfully for them, also it is for SRG. So it has to come back down once again to the macro play, into even weapon scenario for both sides. That it's been back and forth, at least in the second half.
And it's been tricky to find value with the op on the SRG side when you're just getting hit by so much util. Like, YFPX aren't entering any territory without some kind of util, some kind of blind being thrown, which, I mean, SRG are reacting well to. They're able to, Mel is teleporting out, Donut backs away, there's backup, there's a fight from SRG. I thought that double swing from SRG was gonna have good timing, but YFPX, like, they haven't left any lapses, any gaps in their knowledge go through. Now it's the last round of regulation.
Look at Donut. She just, you're looking at the weapon cycles, and she bought a rifle on the top of the staircase, dropped it, and then a judge right by her feet. So she's going to be the strong point here to hold towards News. Falls back, though. I'm going to have to try to pull the rotate.
Getting that op to reposition is an initial dub, but what a ping from Sarah! Okay, can you get the finish? Good for one. That's better than nothing, and YFPX a little bit trapped here in mid. Nervous on how to proceed when top goes unsmoked, but it's an option for YFPX to explore.
Now there's no flash to move through. She's already pinged 2 other players. Glowstick and Zoriental are super low. Now they have 0 map control. They can't break the util yet towards this B site, and SRG is already pushed out the way that they did, and they're watching every single angle right now. So south side A site once again, but they have such a stronghold on this B site lean to try to keep this OT alive.
Yeah, and Sherrod had to be the one who swings in, clears, and kind of inspires YFPX to keep going into B, but the trips go untouched, which could hinder YFPX as they have to run around, but they just stay put. And SRG are staggering in. They gotta work around, but Alexis has no util. Donut just tries to break them up. Alexis begins the roll, and Donut, the teamwork, vanquishes YFPX, and we will enter overtime.
And that was, again, another close call. Numbers advantage for your side, HP advantage for SRG. And then once they start rotating off the spike plant, no more buddy system on the top side. One gets punished by Glowstick's lurk on the top. One walks down inside the B site with no breach util to support you to walk down yet, so you get picked off as well. So it comes down to a 3v4 to try to retake, and thankfully the shots came true for SRG. And OT is now on the cards.
Both defenses 8-4 in their favor, and YFPX will kick off first. With trips set up deep into the site, hopefully catch Donut is the idea, while Corrupt will watch mid. Maybe look for an early knife, but based on the setup at A, YFPX may look to scrap. It's the Prowler and one-way setup. No, it'll be a slower round after all.
Yeah, especially once the knife stalls a couple of players down bottom middle. You're gonna have to start waiting things out, starting to default to break util and play into the mid round. Uh-oh. The camera's up. Noe was kind of out in the open, and thankfully the cage was the thing that saved her. And now you're starting to group up to try to re-hit towards this B site. Shock Dart to break in can really brute force your way in towards this B site now for Shopify.
Just playing off the trips low to the ground. There's the shock, but Sherrod could still poke and prod, but because of the neon wall, it's tough, and the drone to reveal the spots from YFPX. It makes it easy for SRG to execute, all because of Sarah. The rest of YFPX wait in the wings at the very back, while Scary Shark is far and away, hoping to be involved because the paranoia is very much needed. But Glowstick still finds their shot, but with market control, SRG have some space to work with. They could even cut off Scary Shark as they hope to be involved in this fight. But they know it. They're gonna stay safe and not cross until the paranoia comes out, which keeps SRG a bit distracted. And maybe Sarah and Mel to work a crossfire together. And Waze Oriental tried to be nice with it. Donut punishes. And it's just Scary Shark. Man, SRG had such a good post plant setup. And now 1-2-1, but caught with the spike in hand. SRG match point.
Ends up being quite nice for Shopify Rebellion. 3 players. I mean, they hurt 3 sets of shots for YFP when they threw that haunt right into the market. So I love that you had to reposition from one of the players of SRG to walk back towards that B site. When the paranoia hits 2 of her teammates back towards the market, I think that was Alexis that pivoted towards a drop off. She's able to hear the rotate back and fled back from that B site. They're able to help and assist each other here with Mel to set up that crossfire to be able to win that round in the end. So, and again, it was off the cuff kind of decisions you need to make on the fly here that was lacking a little bit for SRG, but looks like they're finally woken up here. It's looking a little bit cleaner on how they're adjusting into the hectic moments of this second map of Sunset.
And to win an offensive round at that, where both teams really struggled in that department, being down 4-8. So SRG began the comeback on that second half on their defense. And it's Mel keeping elbow. Alexis further back. Don't want to be caught and overwhelmed by util. So safer positions, less risk. This YFPX kind of in a stalemate. Looking for some contact plays.
And when the map has been 8-4 on defense for both sides, both teams showing a lot of grit, holding off these sites. And SRG just won their first round on attack. Huge advantage now on their side as they know they have the confidence to be able to fight this back. YFPX are about to go for the Hail Mary B-side execute.
I can't use that.
The trips, both of them dismantled by one shock, and that leaves the playground open for Oriental and friends. And the trades in YFPX's favor, but this market push from Donut is ruining YFPX. Now it's just a 1v2 for Corrupt to save this map when YFPX were ahead. It's not going to be about the spike, but time is on the line. 12 seconds, and it's over. SRG's comeback was real after all. And we'll decide this on Corrode.